Hi everyone, this is Isaac, and for my RLO in our class, I'll be talking about using artificial intelligence to combat Galamsey in Ghana. So we are looking at a technological shift towards environmental restoration. So currently in my home country, it's been a very challenging moment where there's a lot of illegal mining going on. That is what is being termed as Galamsey. So as we move through this RLO, I will be enlightening us on that. So let's start. The objective is that by the end of this RLO, participants will be able to explain how AI technologies can detect, monitor, and then reduce illegal mining, the activities in Ghana, and also to help evaluate the impact of AI on the environment and then community response as well. So, introduction to Galamsey, we'll be looking at the definition of Galamsey, the impact on environment, economy, and health, and then the need for innovative intervention. So, when we talk about Galamsey, it refers to an informal, small-scale, and often illegal gold mining operations in Ghana. So, the term Galamsey is a terminology in Ghana which is used for illegal mining, and this is typically carried out without any proper permit and disregard for environmental regulations. So, our videos here that will be played for us to see how this whole thing is done and its effects. So, even as you can see from the screen, you could see that there are a lot
When
of
it comes to
challenges.
making a premium Freddy's steak
So,
burger,
we will
you
watch these
can't
few
rush
videos.
perfection.
These young men are hard at work mining for gold in the eastern region of Ghana. What they're doing is illegal. They haven't gone through the stringent process of trying to get a license, but they're here with the consent of the landowner. Illegal mining, or galamsey as it's called here, is taking place in countless sites like this across Ghana. The miners don't want to be filmed, but the leader of this group agreed to talk to us about why they're doing this.
This Galamsey there, at least every day you can get something to feed your family. And that's why everybody putting himself and pushing himself into this system to support your livelihood. You see, that's it.
But the work is dangerous. Is it worth it? It's so dangerous.
Oh, okay. If you take good care of it, it's not so much dangerous as you are saying.
They divert entire waterways in search of gold, and once they finish with a site, they often just abandon it. The small-scale miners who are licensed and regulated are required to reclaim the land. This group have been here for about a month now, and they say in the next few days they're actually going to be wrapping up. Now, they also say they're going to reclaim this land, but from what we've seen in this area so far, that just doesn't seem to be happening. This is just one of the abandoned sites we came across. And this is what's left of the River Brim, which runs through the area of Chebi. The methods the illegal miners use make the water murky and too dirty for the local community to use.
They normally treat with mercury and then cyanide. And these chemicals are also deadly for our health. Bear in mind that the water they are dealing with are for drinking purposes.
The boss of the government body in charge of regulating the mining industry admits that more needs to be done to tackle the problem.
We were not firm enough to stem the problem when it started. We did not nip it in the bud. So I think it is now for us to deal with it. We need the traditional leadership to be involved.
So for the sake of time, I think it will be made available so we can watch them online when this is being posted. So the little I want to talk about here is that with this Galamsey, it has an impact, on our environment, the economy, and then the health. So mostly with the environment, as we can see from the video, there is deforestation where cocoa and other, trees are being cut down, and those places are used for Galamsey. So they dig pits in search of gold, and when they are done, they don't even close those pits. They leave everything to just be there, bare, destroying water bodies, polluting the water, degrading the land, and all that. So these are some of the impacts this Galamsey or illegal mining has on our environment. Then when we look at the economy aspect of it, the impact is that, there are unemployment situation in my home country, Ghana. There are a lot of challenges going on there. So people use that means to make money. They use that means to create jobs from themselves because they know it is worth it. Why am I saying it is worth it? Because to them, they believe as the man was saying, anytime they go to the site to do all these particular operations, they are able to make money out of it. So to them, it is worth that sacrifice because there are a lot of challenges, a lot of things associated with that. It is very risky, but they do them. As I'm talking to you, a few days ago, like 2 or 3 days ago, one of the pits, you know, was destroyed, and I heard that lives have been lost back home, but then people will still be going to do all these kind of things. Then why am I using this for my innovation or trying to come up with something? Point is that because they've been using, task force, trying to use military forces and all that to curb this particular challenge, and it is not working. I think with AI in the system now, with technology in the system now, we can advance, and with that, we'll be able to curb the situation and know how to go about it. So that is the need for the innovative intervention that we'll be talking about. Now, if
What's
you look at the
this?
second video too as
It's
well, I think he
complicated.
all talks about he was also talk about the same thing
This is
as
what
we can
Africa's
see.
largest gold
So
producer looks like from
if
above.
you look at
As
the
gold
landscape,
production's boomed in Ghana, illegal
everything
mines
was
have sprung
destroyed.
up along most of its rivers. Earth in the
And that's the
countryside
same thing people are using.
Water.
They
The
are
river was now
complaining.
is killing people. He says the number of patients coming to a third of them can't afford
See?
dialysis,
Yeah,
so they
so
die.
think the video will be made available so we can watch all those things. Going
And the
forward,
public support.
we will look at what is artificial intelligence, and I will talk about it, and then look at one or two components here. So when we say AI, it's all about simulation of human intelligence by machines, especially computer, systems, and it involves learning or acquiring data, reasoning that we are applying rules, and then self-correction. So that is all about AI. Then we have examples that we will use in our definition. We're talking about machine learning, virtual recognition, and then predictive analysis. For the sake of this particular Galamsey we are dealing with, that is why we made mention of these key components. So what we are talking about is I want to talk about machine learning, the models are used to train so that we'll be able to recognize pattern and then classify activities. Like we distinguishing between the natural land cover from disturbed mining areas. So which areas are being disturbed, which areas are being preserved. Then knowing that we'll be able to make, informed decisions on that. Then with the virtual recognition, these tools can also help, we scan this, the satellite images to detect where unauthorized excavations are going on, where it can give us signals and flags and all that. And then with the predictive analytics, what that one does is it helps us to know the pattern. It helps us to know the pattern, of where minings are going on, and we'll be able to forecast and know that okay, when they mine in this particular area, they move 10 kilometers away, 15 kilometers away to continue mining. Then based on that, we'll be able to forecast and know that this may be their movement. So therefore, we may have to track them. And as I said, the role in this environmental monitoring is that we'll be able to use AI, on a large scale so that continuously and accurately we'll be able to track the land use changes, and then we'll be able to provide solutions to them, and doing this, it gives us real-time data where we'll be able to, monitor all these things and know the affected lands and provide solutions to them. So that is what the AI is all about. So pictorial view, a few things I want to talk about here is that Galamsey crisis in Ghana. So as you can see from the pictures, you see a lot of things. Look at the water bodies and look at it now. Children drinking this particular water, which is very bad. Look at the landscape and look at the mining going on. So this crisis is going on because one, there is socio-economic drivers of Galamsey. Why am I saying this? Because of the unemployment and poverty among the youth, people engage in illegal mining because of unemployment. They don't have any job to do. And seeing that they can illegally do this and make money, that is why they involve themselves into it. And there's also a high price for good. That is why people involve themselves in. Because even those who are performing government jobs or are in the public sector, some of them are not able to make, you know, those amount of money within a day or a week. But these illegal miners are able to come up with that money because of that their operations and the high cost of gold or price for gold in the country. Also, we talk about political interference and community involvement. So there are political parties who believe they can use that to earn the votes of the citizens. So they encourage them that if they vote them into power, they will use that opportunity to give them, the license, the ability to mine freely. Then the community involvement too has become a livelihood for some group of people in the community. So therefore, they see nothing wrong with involving in the illegal mining or the Galamsey. But then the consequence is that our rivers, we are poisoning our aquatic life, we are destroying our forests, the land fertility is being affected, and then the totality of it is the national goal of sustainable agriculture, which is being tempered with, and then our access to clean water, which is being tempered with. So this is the crisis we have in the country as a nation, and we need to find a solution to it. And I know there's been a traditional way where tax forces and people are using different means, but in the age of AI, in the age of technology, I think if we shift our attention, the way of doing things and move to that, we'll be able to provide meaningful solutions to this particular menace in the country. So, AI application in Ghana. So as we can see, we see a drone here. This is our immediate past president with the image here, who said he was putting his presidency online just to make sure this thing is being kept. But at a point, he was being sabotaged by political opponents. Why? Because instead of they seeing it from a national interest point of view, they saw it using as a political tool to earn, favor or the interest of the citizens. Why? Because a larger amount of people are involved in the illegal mining. And if they are fighting it, that means it is going to affect their livelihood. And what people were thinking is that they are not looking at the long-term goal, but currently what they will have to put in their pockets, what they will have to put food in their mouth. And that affected the fight for the Galamsey, and we couldn't fight it. But then we could see that if we are going to use AI application in Ghana, talking about the satellite image analysis, which can have, Google Earth Engine, the Planet Lab, and then some technologies that can, assess the land, give us images, satellite imagery, high solution resolution satellite images, where we'll be able to detect that, okay, this land has not been tampered with. This one had been tampered with. This one, they just started tampering with it based on, how the imageries will be coming out. Then with the help of the drones, we'll be able to, send drones to take a shot and then a view of the place, which will help us know that, okay, this particular place, it has been captured. This illegal mining is going on. Therefore, we need to act as early as possible on that. So these are key things that we need to apply in Ghana in the combat for dealing with Galamsey in the nation. And then with the predictive analytics, as I talked about, that one will also help us give us a combined mining data and then the local geography of the indicators to predict whether Galamsey will spread next, where will it be going, how long, how far do they travel in destroying the water bodies. There are times, okay, for the sake of where they will camp, they will set up and know that they may have to travel maybe 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers. So with the predictive analytics, it helps us to know all those particular ones. Then there's a case study, the few ones that have been done according to Amuaku EE and Adams M 2020. So in the Ashanti region, there is a satellite data paired with an AI. It was used to detect unauthorized mining near forest reserves. And then the Ministry of Land and Natural Resources, they partnered with tech firms to develop a dashboard that visualized mining hotspots. Upon validation, drones were dispatched to confirm and document illegal activities. It resulted in over 40 shutdown of Galamsey operations in just 3 months. So something that had been dealt with, but then had been fought for years and there had not been any solution. With the help of this AI in such a small portion in Ashanti region of Ghana, they've been able to shut down Galamsey operations in just 3 months, 40 operations. So imagine the government support, stakeholders coming together, and then making it a priority that we are going to use AI to fight this particular menace in the country. We'll be able to make a massive improvement, a significant improvement within the shortest possible time. So this can be achieved by using the method of technological change where we focus on Roger's diffusion of innovation theory. That is what we can use. And we go through the 5 stages where knowledge, persuasion, decision, implementation, and confirmation will be done. How would this be done? First and foremost, we'll make sure stakeholders learn about AI application. That is the knowledge stage. Let them learn about it. Then we go through the persuasion stage where we provide evidence from the pilot shows that there is success, evidence based from the piloting. Like as I made a case here where in the Ashanti region, 40 operation sites have been shut down. It gives us evidence that this thing can be used to combat what the Galamsey. So we'll be using those things to persuade them. Then in the decision making will try to influence where the ministries and the local assemblies will adopt this particular innovation, this particular idea. They'll be able to adopt it. Then in its implementation, we'll be able to deploy these drones, these AI tools, the machine learning, the predictive analytics, and all that, the satellite imageries to be able to do this. Then in the confirmation stage, what we'll do is that the stakeholders will report positive outcomes so that as they report these outcomes, it will reinforce the continual use of this particular AI tools in the lab. And in doing this, the application to AI adoption in Ghana will be successful. So we also have to look at the cultural and ethical consideration. It's a community. These are society. There are people who have different perception. So people have perception that, okay, this is going to be oppressive, it's going to be invasive, because it is going to, where the data privacy is going to invade into their privacy, their land, measuring, like monitoring things on their farmlands and knowing all these things. So these are things that we need to consider as we reorient the perception of the people when it comes to AI, as we consider the trust and then the data privacy, as people will be talking about. We also have to make sure all those concerns are dealt with, and people that we need to talk to for their consent that this is what we are going to do. We need your consent to be able to fly or flown these drones and all that, or over your lands and all that, be able to do that as well. So all these ethical and cultural considerations must be put in place so that there will be some form of agreement, consent before these things can be done. Then the challenges that will be faced, we can't put away challenges in dealing with this. And the challenges that will be faced is high cost and technical expertise. These drones and predictive analytics and expertise, the training and everything is going to cost something. There will be a cost element, which is very, very important to be considered. Also, there is data limitation. And here, there is incomplete and outdated geographical database, which may also affect the model. It may affect the implementation of this. So we have to acknowledge that these are the challenges. And if these are the challenges, what then do we do to solve them? So we have political and social resistance, where with this, we're talking about the fact that they are political interference, political people who are weaponizing it in their own interest to be able to get what we call votes, what we call the masses support, because it will appeal to the people, and with that they will vote for them. But then in the long run, we are destroying our land, destroying our water bodies, destroying our forest reserve. Then the social resistance that is coming from the community, they see to be that this is their source of livelihood. They see to be that that is what they do to sustain themselves. But then they are not looking at it from a national interest. They are not looking at it from a sustainable angle. So we have to make sure these things are dealt with. Then yes, as I said, to overcome these challenges, capacity building that is coming through training, train ourselves. we train officials, we train the youth, we train engineers in how to use AI, in how to do drone operations. Then we also help with capacity building where the universities and all those things will come together through international partnership also to help keep this situation, overcome the barriers where the universities, international NGOs, and tech firms will come together and help each and every one or stakeholders involved to be able to, help in curbing the situation. So the universities are doing their research, international NGOs are coming with their support and the ideas, the tech firms are coming up with the technologies and the AI tools and the drones and all that to do the work. Then the legal framework for AI governance, where they are plan and execution to make sure that if people falter or go against these laid down procedures, they are dealt with. When people go against them, that like, there are clear legal and regulatory framework to govern the use of AI in environmental protection. That if you go against it, you'll be dealt with. And this is how the AI tool can be used, it will not be used to infringe on people's rights, their privacy, and all that. So this is basically how to go about it. So in the recap, we say that there is a potential issue in Ghana, Galamsey going on. How to deal with this is the use of AI, where we'll be able to assess and monitor. Okay, this land, the data shows that this land was green, but now it is showing red, meaning activities are going on there. Then with that, we'll be able to go. But at first, they don't know whether activities are going on there or not. Sometimes by the time they will get there, the land had been depleted and they will waste petrol, waste human resource, energy, and you get to the place and the people have even destroyed the land. But with the help of the AI, you can have data that shows you that an activity is going on here. It is, you have the informed, you are informed on time, you'll be able to work on it on time to save the situation. And then we talk about the importance of inclusive and ethical deployment, where we engage all of them. Those who think for their political interests, those who think it's their livelihood, we come together and educate them and get everybody on board. Then encouragement for stakeholder involvement, as I talked about, where we involve all of them. If we want them to stop, are we going to create other avenue for employment for them? If you want them to stop, are we going to help them with their challenges that they have as a community? In doing that, we'll be able to help this situation. So in the assessment, we'll be asking what AI tool is most effective for detecting Galamsey, what stages of the diffusion theory involves pilot deployment, then you list two ethical concerns with AI deployment in rural areas. Then how can locals be involved in AI programs? So these are the questions that will be answered on this particular thing. These are the references we have. And then this is where we'll end the presentation. Thank you. And I hope you enjoyed it. And with this, you'll be able to use it wherever you find yourself. This AI application to help you keep the situation in your particular area. Thank you.